Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, I am Warren Nelson, Director of Online Real Estate School Incorporated and the sponsor of this free live streaming real estate class. This is the quickest hour in real estate, and I want to welcome everyone to tonight's show. Our topic for tonight's show is going to be how to run a real estate business. We will be discussing the different business models available: brokerage, seller representation, buyer representation, property management, property development. We're also going to be talking about the choices that you can make once you get that real estate license. Brokerage, working for Fortune 500 companies, working for developers, investors, working as a municipal employee, or even getting into the political arena. One of the easiest ways to take the political ladder is through real estate. As always, we will review your many options that will be available as you take this journey in real estate and what this journey is going to entail to become a licensed real estate representative in your state. Since we're talking about how to run a real estate business, naturally we will discuss the potential income that can be earned representing others in real estate and what you can be expecting in the classroom. Fortunately, our classes start tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 6 week class. Tomorrow will be first day of class, and this class will run all the way to about July 29th, when our next class begins August 17th. So if you missed the sign up and the enrollment for our June 22nd class, don't fret. August 17th will be here before you know it, and you still have the potential to become a licensed real estate agent this year because we have 3 classes remaining after tomorrow's class begins. So, it's never stops, ladies and gentlemen. So we got a very interesting show. We're going to talk about all the ways that you can make money with that real estate license and how to get that real estate license. But before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, a quick word from our sponsor. Welcome back, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a radio show where it is produced and then recorded and then upstreamed so it sounds good. This, ladies and gentlemen, because anyone can do a radio show, this is a live streaming show. And this is what the real estate business comes down to: a live streaming event. Every day in your business, it's going to be different. That's one of the beautiful things about having a real estate license. You don't get to see the same 4 walls every day, you don't get to see the same environment each day. Every day will be a different experience in the real estate business, and each client is different. Each client has different requirements, and you will have no 2 clients the same, no 2 deals the same, and it is going to be a constant live streaming event from beginning to end, over and over and over again. So I have a high respect for live streaming events because that's exactly what we're going to do in the real estate business. Once you get that real estate license, ladies and gentlemen, every day is going to be a live streaming event. It's not practice, it's not rehearsed. You could be polished, but you never know what each client is going to present, how the deal is going to unfold. Some deals are easy, some deals are not so easy. That is the way the real estate business works. And this is why the real estate industry needs real estate professionals to help our clients maneuver through these different hoops and hurdles and events that have to be taken place in order to get to the finish line, what we call the closing table, the settlement. So we're going to be talking about a real estate business. And we got an economy that's going to be changing, ladies and gentlemen, and it's just as well. So interest rates are going to go up. You already see inflation's going up, prices are going up, gas prices are going up. You probably realize that every time you pump gas into the vehicle. You also realize that certain products are going up, and they will continue to go up, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way it works. There are no free rides. There are no get rich quick schemes. And every time somebody wants something for nothing, it's got to be paid for. The government certainly can't pay for it. All the government knows is how to tax, how to ask, how to take, but they don't can't give anything in return. So we have to do what we always have to do, ladies and gentlemen. See that? They didn't even set my phone off. My apologies. We have to do what we always have to do, ladies and gentlemen. We have to wing it. We have to make it. We have to do for ourselves because nobody else is going to do for us. It never has happened, never will happen. It's nice to have help. It's nice to have help every now and then, but do not expect somebody to carry your weight. You will have to make it your own. And being in the real estate business and having that real estate license, ladies and gentlemen, makes this struggle of making it on your own a little bit easier. And it gives you a higher standard in standing in society. So, again, as I said, this is not a pre recorded radio show. This is a live streaming show or live streaming class. And just as I am live streaming right now, you will be live streaming every day in the real estate business as well. So when you come to my class, I'm going to teach you what I can't teach you in 1 hour. I'll teach you in a 75-hour period that we have how to run a real estate business. And so we're going to talk about these things, ladies and gentlemen, because the economy's changing. Interest rates going up, inflation's going up. It's going to be becoming a buyer's market. Will real estate start coming down in prices, or will they at least stop shooting up in prices? The answer is going to be yes to probably both of them over the next 3 to 5 years. But no worries. That's what my class is all about. I've been doing this, ladies and gentlemen, for almost 30 years. Back in the late 80s, when interest rates were 18 to 22%. Many don't even remember those times. Well, the real estate market didn't come to an end. Yes, we had to be creative. We couldn't get mortgages at 18 and 22%. The banks weren't giving any money out at 18 to 22%. And so you just had to be creative on how to invest in property. And this is really where I got my start. I got my start when interest rates were 18 to 22%. Interest rates are now 3 to 5%. And notice, even though the Federal Reserve is not raising interest, the banks are, the lenders are, because of the unsecurity of the real estate market that's coming down the pike. Now, this is an old rerun. It's an ebb and flow. Life repeats itself over and over again. So, for what I'm seeing, we're seeing the 80s come back around. And again, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, it is kind of a good thing because otherwise the prices would keep climbing and climbing and climbing to they're out of reach for many people. So when we have different political arenas take place, we're going to have that ebb and flow. And so you're going to see prices of inflation go up. Will the prices of real estate continue to climb? Well, optimistically, if you want to be optimistic, you could say yes. But if you want to be realistic, chances are you're going to start seeing the brakes on prices climbing, unrealistic prices. And we do have unrealistic prices, ladies and gentlemen. We got properties out there that should be $200,000 and $300,000, and they're in a $400,000 and $500,000 price range. They're completely overpriced right now, and that's because of supply and demand. One of the things that I'll teach you, there's more demand than there is supply right now. So we don't have enough property for all the buyers who want to buy them. But you're going to see that that's going to be changing in the next couple of years under different economies. And you're going to see that we have more supply than we have demand. We don't have a bunch of people wanting to buy the property, so now the property prices will start to streamline and come in the opposite direction. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're known as a seller's market, supply and demand. We have more demand than we have supply. But you're going to see a buyer's market within the next couple of years where we have more supply and not a lot of demand. Again, If you're going to be running a real estate business, you have to know how to run your real estate business in a buyer's market and a seller's market. It's always great in the seller's market, but the buyer's market, only the strong are going to survive. Only the smart will be able to make it through the economy. Take back 2007, 2008, where we had the subprime crisis. A lot of real estate agents did not make it. 2009 was the year that they went out of business. They couldn't make it through the turmoil. Of course, those who did make it became stronger. You never ever hear that expression, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? Well, this is true because you learn from these experiences, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to have new learning curves in our future. So I always encourage you to come to my school because my school is not only going to teach you how to pass a real estate exam, we're going to teach you how to run a real estate business. So let's talk about that right now, ladies and gentlemen. There's different ways of going. Most people believe that once they get a real estate license, their first natural step is to work for a broker, Realty Mark, uh, Century 21, Remax. These are all real estate brokerage out there, Keller Williams, and they all got very good reputations of servicing clients. And many real estate agents have made their career at these different brokerage and were happy for the most part. You know, it's not easy to make everybody happy. You know how that goes. So with me, I'm at Realty Mark, and I love it. And there's a reason, and we'll talk about that. Now, you're not allowed to recruit technically. That's the rule in the class. No recruiting is allowed. Of course, I do see some schools that kind of skirt that, but I don't. I teach compliance, and I can't be compliant. I can't teach compliance if I'm not compliant. But since this is not a state mandated class that we're doing right now, this is a live streaming class, I can mention brokers' names in this live streaming platform, but I won't be allowed to do that in the real estate class once you're in the class. So things are a little bit different and formal in the classroom. But right now, let's just take my brokerage, Realty Mark, where you keep 100% of your commission. The paperwork is done for you. You, the real estate agent, doesn't have to do this. And we get a cruise every year, and there's many other benefits. A TV show every Sunday morning. And so, if you're going to become a licensed real estate agent, going to work for a brokerage, then you want to know what platform that broker has to offer you so that you can bring your business to that platform. See, you're going to be an independent contractor, ladies and gentlemen, once you get that real estate license. You're not going to be an employee. You're not going to be interviewing for a job. You're interviewing for a business relationship. And your job when you're interviewing brokers is to find out what the broker has to offer you, not the other way around. You're not interviewing for a job. In a job, you're trying to sell yourself and why you should be hired. But that's not going to be the situation once you have that commodity. Once you have that real estate license, you have the asset. You have what the broker needs. And so you are in the position of strength to negotiate. And I'll teach you how to negotiate with the brokers in my class. And everything's a negotiation. From the very beginning, the very first contract that you're going to sign, ladies and gentlemen, which will be your independent contractors agreement, that'll be your employment contract with your broker. The negotiation starts from the very first contract. And then every contract that you negotiate with the buyer and the seller is an art of negotiations as well. So, learning how to negotiate is one thing that a school should be teaching you. Most real estate schools will teach you the bare minimums, just what you need to know to pass the exam. But a lot of people who pass the exam are stuck in the wind. Now, what do I do? I got the answers. I knew the answers to the exam, but I don't know what to do next. And so that's what sets my school apart from other schools, ladies and gentlemen. Online Real Estate School Inc. I've spoken to many potential students these last 2 weeks. That phone has not stopped ringing, ladies and gentlemen. It has been nonstop, and it is an honor. I'm humbly appreciative to talk to everybody to see if I can make a dream come true for them where they can get their real estate license and go on to be very successful and have a very nice life. And so, because of the massive amount of advertisement that's being done. My Google specialists, my social media specialists, they're doing all a great job. The phone is ringing on a regular basis. And I prefer to talk to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, my number, I'll give it to you two times. I didn't give it to my producer, so I'm sorry about that. 267 972 1084. 267 972 1084. I'll mention it a couple times. Give me a call. Talk to me. I'll explain exactly what you can be expecting because I know, thank you, Bernie. 267 972 1084 is my number, ladies and gentlemen. Reach out. I'm always happy to talk to somebody. If I miss your call, I'm going to be calling you back because chances are I'm on the phone with somebody else, but I will be calling you back. You don't even have to leave a message. I'll see that I missed your call and I will be getting back to you. I talk to everybody, at least I try to, and sometimes I do talk to voicemail. I'll wait for that call. Somewhere along the line, maybe it's not tomorrow, maybe it's next month, maybe it's the following month, maybe it's 5 months from now, or maybe it's 10 years from now because life gets in the way. You're going to want to go and get that real estate license. So it doesn't hurt to start your journey now by talking to me. 267 972 1084, or you can always go to my website, ladies and gentlemen, Online Real Estate School Incorporated. As you can see right there, thank you, Vernon. Online Real Estate School Inc. Don't forget the INC, ladies and gentlemen. It's very important that you remember to put the INC in there to incorporate it. Online Real Estate School Inc. We will be offering a bunch of additional courses coming up. As a matter of fact, my website designer is working on it right now, and my virtual assistant, Emmanuel, is helping me get this done. So we're going to be offering many more classes: management classes, investor classes, broker classes, contract classes, closing cost classes, all these things that sometimes you don't want a real estate license, but you would like to have a lot more knowledge about certain things. So we're going to start offering these classes as well. So back to this business of real estate, ladies and gentlemen. Once you get that real estate license, let's talk about your next step. Let's just say that you want to go to work for a brokerage. A lot of brokers will like to be into that 50-50 commission split, 60-40. Then maybe if everything goes nicely, we could do 70-30, 80-20. If you're a big producer, we might even be able to do 90-10. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the old pyramiding, all right? 50-50. And this is what a lot of brokers will do. The brokers would like to take advantage of the new real estate agent who just got their license. That's why they like to jump on you quickly and say, look, we'll get you started here. We're going to teach you how to run a real estate business. We're going to teach you how to do the contracts. We're going to teach you a little bit about marketing. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I work for a broker who lets you keep 100% of that, and you get all that anyway. So one of the things that I'm going to teach you is how to interview different brokers and see what they're offering. And I tell you, you should interview at least 3 brokers before you sign anything with any broker and compare them to each other. You got the 100% commission brokerage out there right now. These are new to the market. You even have a broker that's out there paying a salary. All right. Again, different concept, and you got to understand the difference between being an independent contractor and an employee. Independent contractors, you pay your own taxes. You could be paid commissions, but an employee, taxes will be paid out, and you are kind of limited to what income you can make as an employee. As a independent contractor, the sky's the limit on your income. It's up to you. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how much money you'll make as a real estate agent when you sit on the couch all day and don't get off that couch? You're not going to make anything. All right? Effort in, effort out. But if you are the hustle and you have that hustle, you got the ability, you are a workaholic, then you can make thousands and thousands of dollars per week, per month, and hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. $200,000 to $300,000 is not really out of the norm for good producing real estate agents. So your first step might be considering working for a broker as an independent contractor. But that's not your only step, ladies and gentlemen. With that real estate license, there's another course you can take. You can go work for the Fortune 500 companies, the Walmarts, the Home Depots, the Burger Kings, the McDonald's. These are all big real estate companies. They need real estate, ladies and gentlemen, for their business. They can't sell hamburgers online. they need location, physical location. And so all these Fortune 500 companies also have their own tax and real estate departments that you can work for with that real estate license. Now you're not just working for commission, you're working for a salary plus commission plus benefits. All right, so there is another avenue. Every one of these Fortune 500 companies, ladies and gentlemen, for the most part, have their own real estate department that you can work for. But now there's another avenue, developers. All right, we have many developers, and these developers, builders, sellers, they need real estate agents to sell the property. The builder doesn't need a license to build properties, but the builder does need a licensed representative to sell those properties. So the developer absolutely is going to be requiring real estate professionals. And again, once you have that real estate license, ladies and gentlemen, you have this commodity. See how you're already employable? You didn't work one single day in the real estate business. You have no experience. But because you did pass the state exam and you do have that real estate license, well, that's where it starts, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter about experience. As a matter of fact, experience is overrated in the real estate business. An artist would prefer to start with a clean canvas rather than painting over somebody else's artwork. So to have experience really doesn't hold a lot of weight in the real estate business, where a lot of brokers and a lot of employees would like to take somebody who's green, clean, and start with them so they have no bad habits already developed by other employment. So again, experience is really overrated in the real estate business. A lot of brokers would prefer to treat you from scratch with no experience so you don't have any bad habits to interfere with their development. So, real estate developers is another avenue that you can take. Management, ladies and gentlemen, we're always looking for property managers. And yes, the minute you take a lease and the minute you take security deposits for anybody else other than your own property, then you need a real estate license. You cannot legally manage properties. Now, when I talk about management, again, I'm being very specific. You are taking a lease. You are taking security deposits. You are collecting rents. These things have to be held in certain accounts, escrow accounts, and it has to be managed in a certain way. The lease has to be explained to the potential tenant. It can't be just initial here, sign here. That's the old school. That's the way it used to be. Ignorance was bliss. Just sign. Everybody signs. Just sign it, and we'll get you the keys to the apartment. Well, what about your rights? What about your security deposit? What happens if somebody enters your property without your permission? All these things are supposed to be covered. And as a real estate agent, lead-based paint, water, asbestos, all these things have to be determined. All right. Oh, not for mention the bed bugs, ladies and gentlemen. What happens when we got a bed bug problem in the apartment or the dwelling? So again, that initial here and sign here doesn't quite cover these ramifications. So a real estate manager, property manager, is another way to run a real estate business after you get that real estate license. This is another avenue you can pursue. And again, here's an avenue where you will be working for the property owner and getting paid a salary and a commission. All right. You will negotiate. This will be known as a management agreement. So you are writing a new contract with the owner to manage the property. And once again, understanding property management, you will understand this in our 75-hour class so that you understand the difference between a management plan and a management agreement and how to run properties for the owner. And again, your job as a property manager is to make the owner as much money as you possibly can. That is the role of the property manager. So there is another way that you can take that real estate license and make income. I know a lot of husband and wives in this business. They both have a real estate license. One does sales and the other one does property management. So now they got two different avenues of income coming in and it offsets each other. So I know a lot of husband and wife teams where they do real estate sales and property management. This way here, they got their bases covered. You never want to have all your eggs in one basket. You always want different forms of income coming in. And here you can have two different forms of income coming in with a real estate license, property sales, property management. All right, so there's a different technique. Now you got what I consider one of the harder avenues to take, property investment. All right, because investors are pretty much the toughest clients I've ever worked for. They could be cheap and it could be a pain. And they want everything for nothing sometimes because an investor is always trying to squeeze out every penny of a deal that they possibly can. And so, working with the property investors is a little bit tough. Becoming an investor is a different story. We'll talk about you becoming an investor. I have a whole class on investors. There are so many avenues, and you got to be real careful with assignments and no money down deals and REOs because we'll talk about how these properties are sold to a quitclaim deed and you really don't own anything in this situation, or if there was an alienation clause or an acceleration clause in the mortgage that you didn't know about when you accepted that assignment, that whole deal could blow up real fast. So when it comes to property management, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, property investor, you really need to know how to invest in property. It could be as easy as investing in a REIT, a real estate investment trust, where you're getting a yield and you don't have to worry about property because you own it on paper, to physically owning a property. I talk about the best investment anybody should make. Their very first investment should be a duplex. I preach it over and over and over again, ladies and gentlemen. The very first investment property that you would want to make is a duplex. And you will buy that property with an FHA mortgage because you will be a first time buyer, or in a situation where we could talk about it, where you're buying a property with an FHA mortgage, which means you only need 3.5% of your own money into this investment, because of the FHA mortgage. And now you live in one property because you're buying the property with an FHA mortgage, and there's a lot of changes under the FHA mortgage that's coming down the pike. There's a lot of changes to our contracts that'll happen on July 1st. That's the way this real estate business is constantly working. And now, because of the economy changing, the mortgage market is changing. And so, if you're buying property or somebody bought a property under an FHA mortgage and now wants to sell it, well, there's the 90-day rule, 91 days to be exact, that seller has to wait 91 days before they can sell that property after purchasing the property. Now, this is FHA. This is not cash or conventional. Cash and conventional, there is no seasoning. But FHA requirements do require seasoning. Let's talk about the other part of that seasoning. You just bought this duplex with an FHA mortgage. You will have to live in that property for 3 years, ladies and gentlemen. So that means you're going to be living in one of the units. You rent the other unit out, and guess what? You are living rent free for the next 3 years because you do have to live in the property for 3 years so you don't commit mortgage fraud. So your very first investment is not really for a return on your investment. It'd be nice to make a little bit of extra money each month, but that's not the goal. The goal is to live rent free, have no mortgage, have no rent. You're wealthier and healthier by living rent free, mortgage free. You won't be mortgage free, but you will be rent free in this situation. You still got a mortgage, but your tenant is paying the mortgage. So you don't have any mortgage, you don't have any rent, your tenant's paying for it. And then after 3 years, you can move out of the apartment, buy something else, and now you do have residual income coming in. Now you got 2 units paying you. And so now you have a positive cash flow coming in each and every month. But now you're known as a property manager, ladies and gentlemen, because now that you rented out both units, you got this money coming in. Well, guess what? You can either outsource the property management, have somebody else manage the property, or you will be managing the property yourself. So you see how you just got yourself into the property management business just like that? By buying an investment property, a duplex, now you automatically became a property manager. So you got to learn property management in your real estate arena. Once you get that real estate license, or once you decide to start investing in property, one way or another, if you're going to be investing in property, you're doing property management. Do you want to be a landlord? No, I don't. I'll show you the way to buy property and not be a landlord. I never want to change a light bulb. I never want to hear the phone ringing at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I never want to pick up a lawnmower again to cut lawns. Those days are past. I would rather work smart than work hard. And so I'm going to teach everybody in my class how to work smart. I'm going to give you 30 years of experience so that you know which avenues to take. So there's your real estate investor. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's more avenues. More avenues. Let's just say you get a real estate license, you can go to City Hall, you can go to the courthouse. They're always looking for assessors, evaluators. Tax department needs a real estate agent. And so, with that real estate license, ladies and gentlemen, even with very little experience, and look, the economy that we're in right now, everybody's hiring. They can't find anybody to work. But with that real estate license, ladies and gentlemen, you can start working for the municipal government. And once you start working for the municipal government, this is one of the easiest ways to start getting into politics. So, you want to work in City Hall, you want to work at the courthouse, you want to work at street department, and so forth. I'm telling you, that real estate agent, every time I go to City Hall, it doesn't matter what office I'm going to, it doesn't matter what floor I'm in, somebody's handing me their real estate business card because they're a licensed real estate agent. But they're an employee of the municipal government as well. See how they have two incomes? They got a municipal employment income coming in, federal, state, or local, and they have a real estate license to make money on the side as well. Now, you won't be able to do that with a bank, ladies and gentlemen. There's an employment contract, a non-compete clause. So if you're working for a bank, the bank won't allow you to use your real estate license. But working for the municipal government, the only reason that you got the job was because of your real estate license. So you can easily get yourself a government job, ladies and gentlemen, with that real estate license. And now let's talk about the political arena. City council member. You know how many city council members we have that have real estate license, ladies and gentlemen? Or in the real estate development, legally or sometimes illegally. You got to be careful with greed. Sometimes the money is so rampant that you lose your mind. And when you lose your mind, it all comes to an end, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I'm a very big stickler on compliance. I don't allow greed to get in the way. I've seen what it does. It did it to me when I was younger, and I did not understand the value of money. And I had more money than one should have at a time. It certainly got me into a lot of trouble. I'm much wiser now as the years gone by, and things have changed. So now I can talk about experience, and I have plenty of experience, good and bad, and the money does that. And our politicians are no different, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes the greed takes them down a path that they shouldn't, and now they're under FBI federal investigation. All right, but we do have a lot of very good politicians that have real estate license and might even be mayor somewhere along the line. Mayors with real estate license, ladies and gentlemen. I got broadcasters, television broadcasters that are bragging that they just got a real estate license. You would think that they're making all kinds of money being a television broadcaster. Why did they get a real estate license? Well, I guess the grass isn't always greener on the other side, ladies and gentlemen. So just don't think that people are making it. They're broadcasting every day, they're working every day, and they're used to a contract. They got a fixed amount of income. And so now they got themselves a real estate license so they can supplement their large fixed income. And you know why? Because here's the truth of it, ladies and gentlemen. The more you make, the more you need. And this is true. Because now you're making $100,000 a year and you just bought yourself a brand new Mercedes. And the insurance on that Mercedes and the upkeep on that Mercedes, it costs you $1,000 just for a freaking tire. Costs you $1,000 for new brakes. Costs $150 just for an oil change. So the more you make, the more you need. And that's just the way it's going to be, ladies and gentlemen. But that's okay. You'll learn to live. A lot of people would like to have their toys, the boats, the planes, the cars, the houses. And why not? You worked hard for it. But understand, it costs to be boss. So the more toys you have, the more it's going to cost you. Just like real estate. Love to have real estate. I own a lot of real estate. I don't pay anything. I own it. But guess what? I still got my taxes. I still got my insurance. Even though I own the property, I have no mortgage. And that's the beautiful thing. It's building up in equity. I can refinance it anytime I want. So on paper, I'm very, very, very wealthy because I can always cash out. I can always take loans. And you hear loan companies always talking about it right now. Now's the time to refinance. Now's the time to refinance. And a lot of people are refinancing, and now they're sitting on a lot of money. Where did the money come from? The real estate, ladies and gentlemen. You just bought your house. You bought a house 10 years ago, and all you bought that house was to live in it, to raise the family. But look at the difference between what you paid for that property when you bought that property 10 years ago and what it's worth today. That is an investment. You don't have to sell the property. You can refinance. if you're 62 and over, you can take a reverse annuity mortgage where you don't even have to make any payments to the bank. Take the money and do whatever you want with it. So it all started with real estate. Real estate. I bought a property simply to live in it. I didn't buy it as an investment, but it turned out to be a great investment. And now, if I decide to sell it, I'll get 3 times what I paid for it. I want to refinance it and stay in the property and put money in the bank. Beautiful. And again, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to teach you how to develop properties. I'm going to teach you how to buy lots, build properties on those property, and immediately put money in your bank. Now you got a property, brand new. You're the very first person that ever lived in this property. It was built to your specification, and after it was built, you're able to take in a closing mortgage out to get this property done, and that mortgage is going to be worth what the value of the property, the appraised value of this new property is, which is going to be much more than what you paid to have it developed and built. And now you got a new property and money in the bank, ladies and gentlemen. There is no way that you can't make money in real estate with my lessons. The things that I'm going to be teaching you in my class, the wealth. Read my reviews, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Read my reviews. Now I'm doing video reviews. All right? Just reading a review is not enough. Now people want to see a video. They want to see. I'm trying to get a couple of my new guest speakers. My real estate agents are too busy. Too busy right now to be a guest speaker. But some of the students who've gone on to do things like buy their own property, become very successful real estate agents. I'm going to try to get them on my show so they can give you their experience from the time they sat in my class to where they are today, not even 1 year later, ladies and gentlemen, and they're already wildly successful in their own rights. So I've been talking to a couple of my students to see if they will be guest speakers on my show. A lot of people freak out when they realize it's a live stream. It's not produced. We don't get to do this in the studio and then it gets put up in a podcast later. No, no, ladies and gentlemen, this is live streaming. Sink or swim. That's the way it goes with a live streaming platform. I make one simple mistake on a live streaming. There's no taking it back. It's not a reproduced show. So that's why I say anybody can do a radio show. But to do a live streaming 1 hour show right off the cuff with no practice, no nothing, well, that's exactly what the real estate business is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Once you get that real estate license, every day is a live streaming event. So let's recap real quick. With that real estate license, you can go to work for a brokerage. You can go to work for a Fortune 500 company. You can go to work for a developer. You can go to work with investors. You can work with the municipal government. And if you want, you can even go up the political arena. Now, let's talk about that political arena. One of the easiest ways is we're always looking for board members. We have lots of different boards in the real estate industry, and they're always looking for members to sit on the board. And they'll ask you, hey, would you like to be a board member, sit on the board, do this, do that? And it's an honor. You're just like, sure. And little did you know that because you're in Harrisburg, back and forth to Harrisburg and back, you're hobnobbing with a lot of state government officials. And the state government officials will say, we've been taking a note to you. You're doing great on this board. You're doing great on that board. And would you be considering this avenue, council member, city committee man, or committee person, I should say, and so forth. There are a lot of different avenues. State representative's office. We're looking for somebody to assist us in the state representative's office. Would you be considering this position? Notice how you are now in the political arena, and it's very easy to get into the politics through real estate, ladies and gentlemen. So understand that once you get that real estate license, your whole journey in life is going to be changing. Your lifestyle is going to be changing. And it all starts with getting a real estate license. And so I'm at this stage of my career, my life, where it's time to pay it forward. Kind of made a promise. Give me what I want and I will give back. So one part of the deal is I've gotten what I wanted in life. I'm very happy. I couldn't be much happier. If everything came to an end tomorrow, I would absolutely have no gripes, no complaints. I'm blessed. And now, because I'm healthy, and my mind is fine, and I'm at the stage where it's time to pay it forward, that's exactly what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen. So I started this real estate school to teach others not just how to pass an exam. Any school can do that. Well, I got to be careful with that because there are some schools that can't even do that. But not just passing a real estate exam, ladies and gentlemen, but running a real estate business, learning how to invest in property. These are the things that most schools lack. And so after you get a real estate license, you're stuck. Now, what do I do? What's the first thing that I do? On the very first day of my class, I start teaching you this on how to run a real estate business. I tell you what market to go after, who should be your first client, how you should continue your business as you go along, from where it starts to where you want to take it. All right? The sky's the limit, ladies and gentlemen, but it starts with that first step. If you don't want to get off that couch, you're not going to make any money. And not everybody is designed to be a licensed real estate agent, ladies and gentlemen. What I mean by that is not everybody has that entrepreneur blood running through their system. Somebody who's in my class usually already is doing 10 other things. I'm working a full time job, I have a part time job as well, and yet I still found time to come to the real estate school to get my real estate license. That is an entrepreneur. Not everybody has that blood running through their system. Not everybody is motivated. There's a lot of society that would like somebody else to do for them. They have no incentive to do anything for themselves. So that's why I said not everybody's made to be a real estate agent. Not everybody has that entrepreneur blood going through their system. And I'll hear it. I'll tell you. And I'll even tell you, you got that entrepreneur blood going through your system. You will make it work. No matter how much time that you're already busy, you got family, you got a career, you got a job, but you called me to learn about a real estate license, you got that blood going through you. You'll find a time to find it. I have a morning class, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's a 4 hour class with a half-hour break. And I have an evening class, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I designed these classes for those who work, especially the 3 to 11 shift. The 3 to 11 shift is always burned in the real estate because no school really accommodates them. I can't come to your class because it's really the hours that I'm working. So I design my classes to accommodate, especially the 3 to 11 shift, or you work the night shift, or you work the morning shift. Well, I got it all covered with these classes. These are Zoom classes, live streaming classes right now, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason that it's going to be staying live streaming for me for at least a little while is because of the advice from our attorneys. If any of my students catch COVID-19 in the classroom, well, we're subject to lawsuit. So for that liability reason, and because we're still allowed to do live streaming, I will remain doing live streaming until the state says we can't do live streaming. And then I'll be going to Florida, to a state where live streaming has always been available, even before COVID-19. Live streaming has not been available in Pennsylvania. As I said many times, the Real Estate Commission, through their efforts to help the schools stay afloat during COVID 19, and our Governor Tom Wolf allowed through a waiver to allow the real estate schools in Pennsylvania to offer live streaming. And it is the future. It should have been in place already. COVID 19 did because other states allow live streaming. And that's why I said if Pennsylvania takes the live streaming away, then away I go. I was getting ready to retire to Florida anyway. That's our next natural possession for me to have my school in Florida, and we're retired in Florida. So at least that's the goal. So I always got to get a backup. So I'm hoping that Pennsylvania and all the efforts that they did to allow the learning institutions to go live streaming because of the pandemic continue in this wisdom to allow live streaming, especially as far as liability reasons go. We don't really want to put students at risk, even though we're vaccinated. Not all will be vaccinated. Not everybody wants to have a vaccination shot. I understand that. And you never know what's going to happen. The minute someone sneezes or coughs, everybody's freaked out. And because they're freaked out, you can forget about the rest of the day of learning. all they could think about is, I don't want to be sitting next to this person who's sneezing and coughing. So the live streaming event is really a blessing. I was ahead of the curve. The only reason I started my school was because of live streaming, but it wasn't allowed. And I knew I was going to have to try to get a new law placed to allow Arillo to do a live streaming event. But then came the pandemic, and the government waiver allowed it. And it worked out great for those who made any effort to teach students through the live streaming event. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, it makes natural sense. Real estate is a live streaming event. So why shouldn't you be allowed to learn real estate through a live streaming event? I mastered it. I know a lot of schools that shied away from it. They're like, oh, no, 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 live streaming, I can't do that. You can't do what you can't do. But if you make an effort to do something that you've never done before, ladies and gentlemen, you will be surprised where it takes you. So my school, Online Real Estate School Incorporated, has mastered the live streaming platform. Read my reviews, ladies and gentlemen. The students love it. Why go driving in the snow or in the rain or take a risk of getting into an accident, a flat tire, looking for parking, and dealing with the person that's sneezing and coughing next to you in the classroom, when you can be at the comfort of your home doing a live streaming event, learning more about real estate than most schools will teach you in person anyway. As a matter of fact, I had a call the other day. Somebody was going to a different school and they were calling me for directions. They realized they called the wrong school, but there they are calling for directions to get to a class that they're already running late for. Do you think you're going to be learning anything when you're already sweating? You're already frustrated because you couldn't find parking, you couldn't find how to get there? And no, ladies and gentlemen. So, in a very relaxed platform is the way that you're going to learn optimally. And this is what I love about the live streaming platform. And hopefully, Pennsylvania continues to do the live streaming platform, but no frets for me. If they don't, I'll take my school to Florida. And then we'll see how it goes from there. That's a much, much bigger market than Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania is a great market, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, Pennsylvania is a great market. Pennsylvania has always been a good market compared to New York and New Jersey, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia. These are real estate markets along the East Coast that are absolutely on fire, ladies and gentlemen. The West Coast is not doing so good. California is in a world of trouble. I mean, in any different direction that you look at it, California is in a world of trouble. But Texas in the real estate market is doing absolutely great. They have a little bit of a political problem because they're on the border there. But other than that, Texas is a great real estate market. So you got to understand, if you get your license here in Pennsylvania, chances are, look in the middle of Pennsylvania, ladies and gentlemen, look at Pittsburgh. I'm getting a lot of students now from Pittsburgh because there's really no real estate schools out there to help you. So because this is a state class, Pennsylvania, I can teach students from Pittsburgh, Scranton, Warren County. The list goes on, the suburbs of Pittsburgh. And now I'm getting a lot of students from that area, ladies and gentlemen, because we're letting them know. And the schools out there, it's ridiculous what the schools are charging out there. Ladies and gentlemen, my school is $399 with an ebook, and that pays for the whole 75 hours. And not only are you going to learn how to pass the exam, you're going to learn how to run the real estate business, you're going to learn how to invest in property, you're going to learn the easy way of doing math, you're going to be learning memory techniques as well. And I'm going to teach you what you need to know to be very successful with that real estate license. For $399, it's the best investment you could ever make in yourself. You could lose more than that in 1 hour at the casino and have nothing to show for it. Here, not only are you going to have all this knowledge, you're going to have a real estate license. You're going to be known as a licensed professional in the state. It gives you a higher standing, and it only costs you $399 for this higher standard, this professional position that you have. You're a licensed real estate professional. And we're not salespersons, ladies and gentlemen. That's kind of a misnomer, real estate salesperson. You're not going to be selling somebody a property that they don't want. It doesn't work that way. What you're going to do is take people around to look at properties, and when they find a property that they absolutely fall in love with, you're going to represent them so that they can buy this property and get the deed, and they can do what they want legally with the property after they purchase the property. So we're known as real estate representatives, and that's the way I always face it. I don't call you real estate salespersons. We're not selling anything when we're working with the buyer. But When we're working with the seller, then our job is to sell the property. And in that situation, we might get a little overzealous and try to sell somebody who doesn't want a property. But for the most part, if you understand that you can't sell somebody that's something that they don't want, you have to understand the job that we have as a licensed professional is real estate representative. And when you understand that you're a representative, not a salesperson, it's a much more professional platform, and you're taking it to a different level from the very beginning. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand we're going to have a word from our sponsor in a moment. The time is ticking, but we're going to be talking about a few more things in a couple minutes about the buyer's market that's coming down the pipe, the inflation that's coming down the pipe, and how to get your real estate license. So, ladies and gentlemen, so I give a little time to my producer. We are going to now have a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, this business never really stops. The moment, and I do mean the moment that the show ends at 7 o'clock, at 7:01, we have an orientation class because class starts tomorrow. So that's just the way that the real estate business works, ladies and gentlemen. It is a round the clock. It is never a dull moment. And that's one thing I love about the real estate business. You don't get to see the same four walls every day. It's not the same routine day in and day out. Every day is an adventure in the real estate business, and you will sleep well at night if you do get to sleep. But a lot of my entrepreneurs, I'm getting leads 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning. People are inquiring about getting a real estate license. And that's the way. I'm a nocturnal creature myself. I kind of sleep during the day and I'm up all night doing a lot of work. But as a nocturnal creature, the real estate business is perfect for me because I can work 24/7. Now, you do need to sleep, ladies and gentlemen. The body needs sleep. I don't know if you're aware of this. There is actually a movie coming out, but if you are awake for 6 straight days, chances are you will die. The body cannot handle 6 straight days of non sleeping. So, you do need sleep. The body needs to recharge, just like a phone. It's got to be recharged. Otherwise, it dies. And so the body needs sleep. But in the real estate business, ladies and gentlemen, you can manage your sleep when you want. It doesn't have to be, and it won't be on a set schedule because the real estate industry is thriving. One real estate agent was really smart. She said to me, I can stay up to 5 o'clock in the morning, but I can't wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know? So it's strange how that works. But yes, before I know it, the sun's already went down. And before I realize it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, that's an everyday event for me. It's already 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And my wife is insisting that I come to bed. And I'm saying, one more moment, love, one more moment. I'm almost there. It never stops. And guess what? The very first thing I do when I wake up is I check my phone to see how many calls I missed, how many leads are there, and what do I have to do for the day. So from the minute to minute in the real estate business, it never stops, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what makes us really successful in life. We didn't sit around all day long doing nothing. That doesn't exist for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome everybody to my show. Every Monday, we have this live streaming event, and we have different topics. Now, this is not a real estate show, ladies and gentlemen, so we don't really talk about real estate. What this is becoming real estate professionals and how and what you can accomplish once you become a real estate professional. All right, so this is different than any other real estate show. All the other real estate shows want to talk about, oh, there's this investment that you can make, and we can make money in the stock market. It's always a good day in the real estate business for this and that. And their avenue is selling real estate and encouraging people to buy and sell. My avenue is encouraging you to learn real estate and let that take you down your life's journey. So I'm all about the education of real estate, teaching you real estate and showing you the the income that you can make. Vernon, let's put up that salary picture that I usually use. Ladies and gentlemen, in the real estate business, you're going to be earning commission. Thank you, Vernon. And again, as I said, this is just a small. We got properties right now, $300,000, 400, 500, $600,000. This is the economy that we're in right now, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're negotiating a 6%, because I already taught you that you have to negotiate your commission. There's no standard commission. It's an antitrust violation. You got to negotiate your commission. So you're negotiating anywhere from 4 to 100%. And I say 4 because a lot of brokers have a minimum commission. You can't charge less than a certain amount. So we'll talk about that in class. And let's just say that you charge the very bottom, 4%, on the $300,000 property. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's an extra $12,000 on top of your income. You're a part-time real estate agent. You got a full-time job and you're doing real estate on a part-time basis and you sell 2 properties a year. Well, what did you just do? You just made yourself an extra $24,000, $25,000 this year selling 2 properties. If it wasn't for that license that you spent $399 to achieve, you wouldn't have been able to make that $12,000 or that $24,000. So guess what? You just sold 10 properties. You made $120,000, ladies and gentlemen, at 4% commission. All right, bare minimum numbers. So this investment of $399, and again, that's for the ebook. With the ebook, if you want the manual, because a lot of students don't like the ebook, they prefer the manual, it will be an additional $30 to mail out the manual to you, making the class $429 with the manual, $399 with the ebook, $429 with the manual. And ladies and gentlemen, the best investment you'll ever make in yourself. Not only are you going to get a real estate license, I am going to give you a wealth of qualified information. Everything that I'm going to be teaching you is compliant by federal, state, and local law. And it's not about taking advantage of anybody's situation, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to make money in the real estate market to take advantage of somebody. Because somewhere along the line, if you do that, you're going to have to put people out on the streets. And now you're going to have to live with your conscience. So I'm going to teach you the ways of making money in the real estate business where it doesn't have to get ugly. It doesn't have to be vindictive. And you don't need to be a monster to make money in the real estate business. As a matter of fact, people can love you and you can become very, very wealthy in the real estate business. So looking at this model, ladies and gentlemen, even if you just take the 4% commission, the bare minimum that you can negotiate, split it in half. Let's just say that you have to split your commission with another agent. Now that's $6,000. Well, if you just did one deal, $6,000, is that not a very good return on your $400 investment? I think it is. And then you do another deal. So now you made $12,000 because you had to split your $12,000 commission with another agent. We'll talk about that. I prefer dual agency where you walk away with the $12,000. But a lot of agents, when they first start out, they'll probably be splitting their commission with another broker. That's called co-oping. One broker represents the buyer, another broker represents the seller. And because there's 2 different brokers involved in this transaction, one representing the buyer, one representing the seller, then you're going to split the commission. Thank you, Bernie. But one deal, ladies and gentlemen, one deal, and anybody can do one deal. You probably already got family members or friends that are looking for real estate, and they're asking you, "Can you advise me? Can you?" And you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? I didn't have a chance to turn it off, and it kills me that I can't answer this because we got a live streaming show. But that's a potential student that would like to know more information. I will contact them back in a couple minutes, ladies and gentlemen. This is the quickest hour in real estate. I want to give a shout out to my producer, Vernon, as I do every week. The Gish Group, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking for somebody to produce your live streaming show, your podcast, your radio show, your event, maybe a wedding event, contact Vernon. You can reach him at info@gishgroup.com. Info@gishgroup.com. Vernon is the first producer I ever had that made life easy. Vernon will tell you, we wait till 10 minutes before the show starts and I get on the air. I say, Vernon, how you doing? And we didn't have any makeup time or anything, but Vernon is such a professional that everything is set up and ready to go. And he knows that I'm at the last minute, the very last minute before the show starts. And he'll say, you're live. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show once again. I appreciate you. I want you to come back to my live streaming show. It's every Monday except for holidays, 6 p.m. You'll find it on live streaming. Tell your friends about the show, ladies and gentlemen. This show is not about real estate. This show is about learning real estate, how to become a real estate professional, how to have a different lifestyle. So, once again, the time has come, the quickest hour in real estate, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everybody. Remember, 267 972 1084 is my telephone number. Talk to me, call me if you want to know more information. 267 972 1084, or you can go to my website, onlinerealestatesschoolinc.com, onlinerealestatesschoolinc.com, and get some more information about the other classes that we're offering. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. It is now the hour. Be safe, be healthy, be happy. Ciao.